And this is what they talk about is modern football. It's not running the ball. It's not using, Miles Sanders 25, 30 times a game like, the old Houston Oilers used to do with Earl Campbell. It's, we're going to put it on a quarterback, and he has to be the one that kind of dictates how the offense goes. And
we are the Mac and Mac guys here on Birds 365. We are joined by one of our compatriots, one of our buddies, one of the guys we enjoy talking to greatly. John just said he's not a Delaware guy anymore. I maybe moved over the borderline a little bit, but he's still writing for all the Delawareans these days.
Yeah.
Martin Frank joins us here on Birds 365. How are you, Martin?
Good morning. How's everybody doing?
I like that energy, Martin. Thanks for getting up early with us. Gave you the extra hour sleep. All right, where do we start? The toe tag is on this game. What was your first framework? Do you get to the offense first? Do you get to the defense? I can't get to the defense, which was bad. The time of possession, the constant zone coverage. But the offense was so bad, I can't even get to the defense.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I mean, you got to start there. They just don't know what they're doing. They can't decide if they want to be like a regular type of offense, if they want to do the RPOs. And when they do the RPOs, I mean, everybody knows it's coming. So, a team like the Buccaneers, they can adapt. They can figure out a way to stop it. And force Jalen Hurts to be a pocket passer and beat him that way, and he couldn't do it. So that's how you end up with 28-7 deficit in the third quarter, and you score a couple of late touchdowns, make the game look closer than it was.
Martin, I gave Nick Sirianni credit for going for it on the 2-point conversion. John said it was just an easy call, the right call. I thought it was a little nervy. There's a whole bunch of coaches that say, we just got to get 7, and then we got to get within a touchdown. We got to play for overtime. If you don't, then you got to get it the second time. I thought there was some guts there. Not, oh my God, can't believe he tried that. Now, if he'd gone onside kick afterwards, I would have said that would have been real gutsy, but he didn't. He went for the 2-point conversion. Yeah. My social media last night, because I gave him credit for it, a mixed bag of, yes, good job by Sirianni. No, it was an easy call. What the hell are you talking about? And my personal favorite, he was going for the cover so that the Eagle fans would be annoyed with him that he got it down to 6 when the spread was 6.5. What was your take on the 2-point conversion?
I think when you're down 14, a lot of teams are doing that late in the game now. And I don't necessarily agree with it. I when you're playing at home, the Eagles are playing at home. They're down 14. If you go for the tie, you're at home in overtime. I mean, granted, you have to make sure you get the ball, or at least they don't score. If the Bucs get the ball, they don't score a touchdown on the first possession, because then you never touch the ball. But a lot of teams are doing that. It's kind of like with the analytics dictate.
Yeah.
If you get to within 6, then you win the game the next time you score a touchdown, provided you kick the extra point. And if you don't get it, you're still down by 8. You're still within a score.
Yeah.
And you have to get the 2-point conversion.
And by the way, Doug Peterson created that. Doug was the first to do it. Ryan Paganetti, friend of the show, he was the one who advocated that. Now it's kind of, I'm not going to say it's second nature, but as you mentioned, a lot of teams do that now. And it puts tremendous pressure on the team in the lead. The problem is the team in the lead had Tom Brady. Tom Brady doesn't care about pressure. So they went right down the field. And they could have scored again, but they didn't punch it in.
Yeah, what the bettors should have been really.
Yeah, exactly. The only people upset were the bettors. So let's talk about that defense. Adam Schefter is taking some hits this week, so I'm going to give him some positive. He tweeted out this: 112 times, Martin, Tom Brady has thrown 40 or more times in his NFL career, which it began, I think, his social security number is in Roman numerals. So let's just say he's been around for a while. First time he's ever thrown 40 passes had a completion percentage of over 80%. too much zone. What is it? Am I overreacting? Is this team what they just sit back and it's death by 1,000 cuts?
Yeah, that's their MO. It seems like, if you're going to beat the Eagles, you're going to have to go on a 12 play, 13 play type of drive, up like 5 or 6 minutes, because their logic is, the more plays you have, the more chances you have to make a mistake. Now, we kind of saw that on Sunday against the Panthers. I mean, Sam Darnold threw 3 interceptions, but I mean, the Panthers were moving the ball. It's not like the Eagles were stopping him. And then, all of a sudden he throws an interception. The Eagles have the ball back. They go down and score. They come back from a 12-point deficit. Well, Tom Brady is not going to make a mistake. I mean, the Buccaneers offense is just too good. So it's kind of like pick your poison. Do you want to go single high safety and then, have Brady beat you over the top with Antonio Brown, with Mike Evans, or, cut you underneath with Chris Godwin? I mean, there's so many ways they could beat you going that route. So I think they just decided, the best thing to do is try to get, try to hope that Tom Brady makes a mistake, or maybe Leonard Fournette fumbles the ball or something like that. He create a turnover that way. And, Brady's much less likely to make that kind of mistake than a guy like Sam Darnold was last week. And, that's how the Eagles lose. I mean, the Buccaneers had the ball for what, 40 minutes, just about?
40 minutes, yeah.
Yep.
Just under.
Yeah. Martin, I saw this on your social media, and I want to follow up with it because I think it's a good point. Eagles defensive line last night, supposed to be a rotation. Everybody in the NFL rotates their defensive linemen. I think that's overstated and maybe overdone, but it does stand out when it happens. And Eagles kept their 4 starters on the field for a big percentage of the game. Are they that good? Do they have that little faith in their backups? Why do you think all of the Eagles' defensive linemen were on the field for basically 80% of the time or more?
Well, I think what you're also seeing is how much they miss Brandon Graham, because they did have more of a rotation when Graham was in there, because then, you have Josh Sweat and Derek Barnett kind of going back and forth and everything like that. But I mean, there's just a big drop off between those 4 guys. I'm talking about Sweat, Barnett, Fletcher Cox, and Javon Hargrave, to the other 4 guys. Milton Williams has been kind of overmatched as a rookie. Teron Jackson got in for a few snaps. I mean, he's overmatched. Hassan Ridgeway doesn't really do a whole lot. Ryan Kerrigan's been kind of a disappointment. I think he only played like 21% or something like that. I mean, I don't even think he has a tackle yet this year. It's just,
no, he got one. He got one in Carolina. He had that tackle for a loss.
I'm
remember?
Surprised they didn't stop the game. And I mean, there's just such a huge drop off from the top 4 guys to the guys who would be quote unquote rotating in, that you just can't use them. I mean, the only time you could use them is when Fletcher Cox is about to pass out, or needs a break here and there. Same with the other guys. I mean, Javon Hargrave came out for a few snaps because I think he got hurt, but he was back in there. I mean, there just isn't much depth back there anymore, after Brandon Graham got hurt and was lost for the season. And that's just how it is. I mean, you want to have depth, but then when you have to use depth, then you don't have the depth anymore.
Well, I don't know how much you've checked social media today, Martin, but a lot of Nick Sirianni criticism coming in hot and heavy. I want to get your take on the chicken and the egg of the coach and the quarterback, and who's the bigger problem, what's going on. I think it's fair to say it's a little bit of both, column A, column B, but if I force you to pick who's the bigger issue, the rookie head coach or the young quarterback, which way are you going on this overreaction Friday?
Well, I mean, it definitely is both, but I think you have to include a third factor, and that's kind of up above Nick Sirianni. I mean, if this was so outrageous, the way the Eagles are playing and, not using Miles Sanders and everything, like, wouldn't Jeffrey Lurie at this point say, hey, what the hell, give the ball to Sanders 20 times and, or you're fired. I mean, that's not happening, obviously. So obviously, Jeffrey Lurie, Harry Roseman, those are the guys who are kind of maybe saying, we're not going to use a running back. We want the offense flowing through Jalen Hurts. And if Jalen Hurts isn't good enough, then we're going to draft a quarterback, in the top 5 next spring. I mean, but this is what they want to find out. I mean, this is what they talk about is modern football. It's not running the ball. It's not using, Miles Sanders 25, 30 times a game like, the old Houston Oilers used to do with Earl Campbell. It's, we're going to put it on a quarterback, and he has to be the one that kind of dictates how the offense goes. And so to answer your question, I mean, yes, Sirianni is, his play calls are kind of curious, obviously. And Jalen Hurts isn't your typical pocket passer who can't kind of like overcome the fact, once defenses are figured out to stop him in the RPOs. I mean, he's not good enough yet to show that he can beat them as a pocket passer. But, I mean, this is all part of the Eagles finding out what they have in a quarterback and whether they need to get another one. And I think that all comes from up top, to be honest with you.